Hey everybody, what is going on? So in this video, let's talk about Governor Gavin Newsom. We're going to talk about his field trip, or his office's field trip to Walt Disney World in Florida back in October. So if you guys remember, Governor Newsom's office, his administration, they took a little field trip to Walt Disney World to check out the protocols, the safety measures that were in place for Walt Disney World in Florida. They wanted to kind of get a taste of what they're doing in Florida to make sure it's safe to open the California theme parks. Okay, that was back in October. Well, this great website, themeparktribune.com, sent a request to Governor Gavin Newsom's office asking for the results of that taxpayer-funded field trip. And this is the response they got. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, then we're going to talk about it. Okay, so it starts off, that request was denied. And it says here in quotes, although we have identified records responsive to your request, those records are exempt from disclosure under the Public Records Act, wrote Alyssa Hartz, Newsom Deputy Legal Affairs Secretary, in a February 22nd letter to Theme Park Tribune. Quote, in particular, those records are exempt from disclosure because they are subject to privilege as records that reveal the deliberative process of the governor and his administration. Okay, so link down below for Theme Park Tribune, the full article. Now, first of all, I want to say this is a taxpayer-funded trip that Governor Newsom's office took to Florida. So the fact that we, the taxpayer, paid for this trip, I believe we have a right to know the results of the trip that we paid for. I don't think that's an unreasonable request, but whatever. I'm not going to digress too far into that, but this says a lot. This says a lot. Governor Newsom, in his own words, said he's going to be stubborn, very stubborn, with the reopening of the California theme parks, with safety first in mind. Okay. So, considering all the political heat that Governor Newsom is receiving right now from both Republicans and even Democrats, a lot of people in California are not happy with Governor Gavin Newsom and this whole lockdown, shutdown scenario. So I don't know. And this is my opinion. Okay. I might be completely wrong. I'm just giving you my viewpoint. This is pure conjecture. But if Governor Newsom had data backing up his policy that, or his mindset or narrative that, these parks are not safe to reopen, if he had data that came from his trip to Florida to support that stubbornness, I would find it hard to believe that his office would hide that information. I mean, if the data, right, the data is supporting his narrative, I would think he would be very, very forthright in releasing that data because it supports the lockdown, the shutdown, keeping the parks closed. Why wouldn't he release it? So the fact that his office is refusing to release their findings for this Walt Disney World trip in October tells me that Disney's safety protocols and the safety measures they have in place must be pretty dang airtight, must be pretty good if he's so hesitant or completely reluctant to release that data. Okay, because you can't look, Newsom, his office, they can't say, we're justified in keeping theme parks closed for a year or more, and then come back and say, yeah, Disney is doing everything flawlessly in Florida. It runs counter to the narrative and the policy here in California, doesn't it? He can't release it. If the report was good, he cannot release it. It looks bad on him and his administration. So, in my opinion, Disney must have done a really good job over there in Florida, and they must have found, Newsom's office must have found nothing, nada, zilch in regards to any problems over there in Florida. Because believe me, you guys, believe me, if he found problems, he would have released that information because it definitely backs up his argument that these parks should not be opened, right? Now, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. It is also possible, I want to put this out there, it is also possible that Disney doesn't want this information to be released either. Maybe Disney and Governor Newsom's office came to like a mutual agreement that, hey, you know what, whatever findings you come across or find, we're not going to release this to the public. That's possible. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say it's very, very possible that this is a joint decision from Newsom and Disney. But to be honest with you, I find the likelihood of that to be very, very low, because Disney has been trying to publicly prove that they're very serious about safety. So I just find it hard to believe that they would hide these results if they're so proud of their policies and their protocol. I think the more likely situation is that they aced this test that Newsom's office conducted, and Newsom doesn't want to, his office doesn't want to have egg on their face and release it publicly. That's what it looks like to me. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this whole thing about Newsom's office refusing to release the findings for this taxpayer-funded Walt Disney World trip in October? Do you agree with me that it looks like, Disney probably aced the trip? They probably, everything ran flawlessly, and it would run counter to the narrative that the parks are not safe. So Newsom's office doesn't want to, release it? Or do you disagree with me? Do you think, hey, nothing to see here? There's nothing wrong with this. It's probably something else, but nothing to see here. What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all so, so much for watching. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.